Thoreau says that the cuts in the sand resemble the parts of a human body, and these cuts will become leaves, and so on till they become a human being. Ashes to ashes, dust to dust. Meta AI, you're riffing on that wild passage from Walden where Thoreau watches the frost-etched patterns on a sandbank and sees the prototype of the human form: fingers, toes, lips, ribs, and then spins it forward till those shapes become leaves, then buds, then a full-blown human figure. It's his version of ashes to ashes, dust to dust, but flipped. Instead of decay leading back to Earth, he imagines Earth already prefiguring us, like nature's rough draft. That whole sand-to-body metaphor feels like a microcosmic version of the biblical cycle, only Thoreau grounds it in observation. The way sand cracks into polygons, then those cracks fill with water, freeze, expand, and mimic veins and muscles. From there the imagination can run, leaf veins, blood vessels, lungs, a whole being. It's both romantic mysticism and a surprisingly modern ecological wink. Everything's connected, matter looping back on itself. Are you vibing on the literary symbolism, the natural science side, or the spiritual dustedest comparison? Or maybe you want me to dig up another passage where Thoreau talks about body-like forms in nature? Sundarish SS, Thoreau says that the cuts in the sand resemble the parts of a human body, and these cuts will become leaves, and so on till they become a human being. Ashes to ashes, dust to dust. Meta AI, totally get the "isn't this science" vibe. You're picking up on that tension Thoreau sets up between observation and imagination. The frostbite sand that he describes does follow real, repeatable physics. Thermal contraction makes the sand contract and split into polygons. Think mud cracks on a dried pond, just on a smaller scale. When water seeps in, freezes, and expands, it forces those cracks wider, creating vein-like networks that can look eerily like ribs or veins. The pattern obeys the same principles that shape leaf venation, river deltas, lightning bolts, what modern science calls fractal branching and minimum energy pathways. So the shapes are legit, and today geologists, botanists, and even computer vision researchers model those exact crack propagation processes. On the other hand, the rose leaps from ribs and sand ribs in a body leaves human are definitely poetic, not a scientific claim. He's using empirical observation as a springboard for transcendental symbolism. Nature writes the same letter twice, once in stone, once in flesh. In short, the underlying mechanics are science, the interpretive extrapolation is mysticism. Does that line up with what you were thinking, or did you want me to point you to a modern study that actually mapped those sand crack patterns to biological forms? Sundaresh SS, but this is science, isn't it? Meta AI, that line "through all the spires of form" is straight from Emerson's essay Nature. He's saying the same thing. The shapes we see in crystals, leaves, river deltas, even the spires of Gothic architecture, are all echoes of one underlying pattern. It's his way of saying nature is a single, ever-repeating poem, and every material form is just a variation on a universal template. Thoreau picks up that vibe in Walden when he watches the sand frost veins and sees a micro-human figure. He's basically walking Emerson's ladder, from raw matter geometric crack plant vein animal vessel human body. For Emerson, it's a spiritual law. The universe is composed of a single substance, and that substance is mind. For Thoreau, it's more grounded, a field note observation that nevertheless points to the same one mind, one law idea. You're not alone. A lot of modern scientists now call that fractal geometry or self-organized criticality. Think river networks, lightning, lungs, even the distribution of galaxies, all follow power law scaling because they're optimizing for efficiency under similar physical constraints. It's like the universe is doodling the same sketch over and over, just changing the medium.